This is round 2. We had to take a break. We had to refill our delicious beverages. Cheers.
Something cheers about lube.
So during our break, me and Sideboo were talking about how we should discuss our first anal experiences. I think I'm gonna let Sideboob take this one off. So because that'll go into my. Well, you know what? Maybe I should go first, and then that'll roll into our next topic.
Wait. Are you going to ease it in? Are you going to ease her into it?
I'm going to ease the listeners into it.
Train Sideboob into.
I think I should just jump right in, my first experience.
Well, so I'll go first, and then that'll go into our next. That'll roll into our next topic about
Go for it.
So my first experience was when I lived in San Diego, and I was dating this fucking smoking hot semi-skateboarder. And I was just like, you know what?
I think you meant semi-pro skateboarder.
What did I say?
Semi-skateboarder?
He only skateboards with one leg.
Yep.
He's halfway
Semi-pro skateboarder. Anyways, so hot. Curly hair, gorgeous smile, freckles.
He didn't have any legs.
I hate you both.
Sorry, freckles.
No, he had curly hair, freckles, just smoking hot, and he lived across the sidewalk from me. And we, did our deeds, and then he was like, let's train. I'm like, well, you're fucking hot. Let's do it. I thought I would be opposed to it, but I'm like, let's try it. And you know what? It really wasn't as bad as I thought, but I also made sure I was very, very, very intoxicated for that moment as well. So it wasn't that bad, and it was fucking hot. It was hot anal sex, and I was like, that is not at all what I was expecting.
No training though, huh?
No training. It just, there was a little ease into it, and he was not a small person. He was a little above average, not huge, but a little bit bigger than average. And by average, I mean
was he?
For me, I'd say my average is 6 to 7 inches. So he
I
was
think the actual average is 5.5.
I think it's 4 actually.
4?
Yeah, I think
No way.
the world average.
4?
The world average. I think.
Oh well.
I think the world average is 4 inches.
But I think it goes down, and this is, as far as I know, a true story that some of the Asian cultures.
I
think, yeah.
So the world, you have the American standard.
My American average is 6 inches.
Here we go. Research. We got to research the average size.
So he was 6.5, 7 inches, good girth, but it was definitely not. And I don't even think we used lube, to be honest with you. It was just. But I'm also a squirter, so I have natural lube.
But you also use the
yes,
social
alcohol
lubricant.
is very, very key in anal for me personally. Anyway, some people can just do it. I definitely need alcohol in my system. And so my experience wasn't that bad. However, Sideboob has a little different experience story.
It wasn't little. But just a quick side note, I found a very comprehensive study on penile dimensions in Chinese men or men of multiple ethnicities, whatever that means.
So what's the average?
So
we're getting the real.
The mean value was a flaccid length. Oh, this is in centimeters.
That's flaccid though. Oh,
come on.
God damn. Why can't you all be American? God damn it.
I didn't
really
think I would
though.
have to deal with this on the sex podcast. I hear this all the time. Is it in metric or is it in...
Why can't we conform, really, though?
I mean, we all bake in
Everybody
metric.
else is doing it.
Why can't we do everything else?
Wait. And what'd you say? It was in centimeters?
6.5 plus or minus 0.7 centimeters. So multiply by what? 2.5? 2.5 centimeters in an inch? 2.6? Anyone? No.
Nope.
It's divided by 2.5.
You see, blanked out.
All right, sorry. Engineering.
I'm just here to be a radio face.
All I know is if
I'm gonna do some quick math
let's just go with 6.
They have a calculator. How many?
No, 6 centimeters. So that's totally different. So we need.
No, that's what I'm saying though.
That's only 3 inches.
Right. But that's what I'm getting at. So if I'm going by 6 inches, then I would want to go by would much rather go by 15 centimeters.
Yeah, I would rather be measured in centimeters, like if I were a dude.
It's like
Okay,
let's go
so
with
the
millimeters.
flaccid length is about 2.6 inches.
Okay, so
And
what is the non-flaccid length?
12.9. So hold on, quick math.
So that's just double.
So
It's
everybody,
like 5 inches.
So all the guys that are listening right now are trying to
Little
they're
over
sizing
5
themselves
inches.
up now.
They're like,
they're like flaccid.
now I need to flip
First
my
of all-
ruler over
wait,
to the other side and measure the centimeters.
red light, flaccid. for guys who don't know what flaccid is. Well, I'm not even going to
This
explain that.
gets
If
so
you don't know,
intense.
get a dictionary.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not know what flaccid means, it means when the cock is not hard.
Oh no, I was going to
No
make them
blood.
Look it up. I was going to make them look it up. I was like, if you don't know what flaccid is, you're watching the wrong show.
No, you're watching the right show because you have a lot to learn.
That's right. We're here to be informative, not make fun of people.
Well, that's why I
However,
love the content. That's
5 inches. 5 inches.
yeah. See, 4 to 5. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
In,
So he was.
in non-white males. It's 5 inches is the average.
Well, then
I'm surprised
that
by
also includes
honestly.
blackmail. So
I'm sorry.
I will never blackmail anybody.
We're gonna have to cut this
I
part
will
out because I
blackmail
said
everybody.
something really untrue. That's wrong. Hold on. Wait, I didn't read it that hard.
Oh,
Okay, so
she read it flaccid.
I
we're
read it really
gonna
fast.
while she researches, let's hear about her first anal experience, and then I'd like to hear about a male's first anal experience from Heine, while she's looking it up, because then that'll segue into our next
give me a
topic.
quick second.
What was your
My
first
experience?
Yeah.
Mine was quite interesting actually.
As anal mostly is the first time around.
But I think it was more spawned by a friend of mine.
Zafista?
Zafista was having a conversation with me one day, and he was like, you know what the best thing about playing music is? And I was like, the music? And he's like, no, the girls. And I was like, okay, so you went to the Gene Simmons School of Rock and Roll, and your idea of playing music is that you want to sleep with a bunch of girls, which is a valid reason to play music.
Why not?
Why not?
And if you're good at it, double
Even
points.
if you're not good at it, I've been in some really shitty bands and it's worked out. I'm just saying.
How do these girls look?
Oh no, but most of them. Wait, let's look at most rock stars are not beautiful people.
I can concur.
No, I'm saying-
also that women are interested in musicians.
Right.
That is a thing.
So-
Man, I need to break out my fucking recorder and hot cross buns more often. Shit.
So my buddy's all like, the best thing is you can get girls to do whatever you want them to do. And I was like, I've never known that to be true. And
How old were you at this point?
that also sounds a lot like coercion.
mid-20s for sure.
So decades ago.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I don't like where this is going. So when he tells me this, it's never been. I would say I'm as not dominant. I'm very very symbiotic relationships that I'm in with people, and so the idea of sort of pushing my will onto somebody has never been a thing.
Or your dick into their butthole.
Exactly. But, and at that time, a couple decades ago, we were not as, but this is
Sounds
true.
like decades
And
every time.
I
you
was
say
actually
it.
making a joke and then I realized it was true and I feel
it
really
is
bad
true.
now.
But in that time,
I'm
though,
sorry.
anal especially, like every girl that I ever met was like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't
no matter
talked about
how
either.
interested I was, it wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember girls all the time would be like, they would make all these bets with either me or their boyfriend or whatever. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, well, if you win the bet, I'll let you do anal. And every single fucking time they would always back out because they would always be scared. Because I think it's just like when your first experience, you don't know. It's like anything. You don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know how it's going to feel. And you're scared shitless, especially sexual things. You're like, oh my God, you're so self-conscious, whatever. So this guy comes, and we may have partaken in quite a bit of drinking. There might have been some extracurricular activities that were going on.
What?
You
You mean there was fucking dodgeball? Damn it.
There may have been more than one person, and there was
They
a
were
hot
all
tub.
knitting.
Sounds like a fucking awesome time.
And there was a hot tub.
Oh, that sounds like
so
diseases.
knitting in a hot tub.
Oh, and so at some point, I just remember being really fucked up going, I need to test this theory. And so I take, which the most awkward thing in the world, before I test this theory, I had just finished playing a show and my band shows up to the hotel room with a bunch of naked people trying to put their clothes on.
What?
So that we could hang out with the band for a minute to send them on their way and then go back to what we were doing. And unfortunately or unfortunately, the girl that I was with was...
Unfortunately or unfortunately?
Fortunately?
Fortunately or
unfortunately.
There you go.
The girl that I would say at this point submitted was one of the drummer in the bands. Like, he was infatuated with her. So now I'm all hammered, and now there's a weird... And I'm like, okay, this is really fucking with my theory of how I'm going to make this all go down.
Insertion of
So then we finally get rid of the rest of the band. The rest of the people go back into the room doing what they were doing. And I take this girl into the bathroom to be like, if she's not 100% into it or
if there's
whatever.
not
so
a
now,
more romantic place than
it was as
for your first anal experience.
And I will say this, it was exactly what you're saying. If you could take all of the romance out of the room, there's a naked lady laying on the ground and
in a bathroom.
On the bathroom
She
floor?
got on the bathroom floor?
Oh, well,
was there at least the rug down? Or
again, this all feeds into, if you play music, you can make girls do whatever you want. And I was like, I don't believe you. And so I kept going, I wonder if she would do this. And I wonder if she would do that. And she would do anything. And so I'm like, this is my opportunity.
Was this girl was this girl able was she able to see?
Was she able to see? No, I didn't blindfold her.
No. Did she was she vision impaired?
She was. I believe.
For all you listeners out there, if you do not see the video on his reaction, you need to go to YouTube and see the reaction after that question.
And she was fairly attractive too. I would say.
So you're saying she wasn't visually impaired?
She had 20/20 vision.
Damn it. Okay, go.
Wow.
That blows your whole theory.
So I know. Fuck.
So I'm curious.
So
you
what
know
happened?
This woman's last name, but you knew her.
Oh, I don't think I ever knew her last name.
But you knew
Did you know her first name?
Her prescription.
I think I knew her first name at the time.
Yeah. So you're just like, excuse me, miss. What did you test in your eye exam
But
last
I'll tell you
week?
what. But okay,
Just
so
checking in.
And I don't care about your name.
So I would say more
To the
because I didn't
bathroom.
have any clue as to what I was doing. It went really slowly. But
As it should.
and it started with no, I don't think so. To please don't stop.
I'm telling you, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Once you get comfortable with it,
she was
once
so
you get
uncomfortable until she was comfortable.
That's what
and
I'm
then
saying.
once she got comfortable, which I also believe this led to a bit of the stalking. She was like, "Oh, I've been introduced to something I've never been introduced to before."
And she stalked you?
I went to a concert in Charlotte, North Carolina. This all happened around the Hickory, North Carolina area. And to Charlotte is a good couple hours. And so I went to go see a friend of mine's band play, and she showed up unannounced. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Well,
And so I would walk away. We were in this party, and I would just walk away from her. And then she would show up, and then I would walk away from her.
She had that 20/20 vision. She could see you from all angles of the
Dude,
room.
it was frightening. It was frightening.
I was going to make a comment about consent, but that stalking doesn't sound particularly consensual either.
Well,
so.
and the thing is,
She was very consensual.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's what I was telling people earlier, that it's very uncomfortable at first, and it takes anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes to get the cock all the way in the back door.
Right.
And so, but once you get it all the way in, you're just like, finally you get that relief. You're just like, that final push, you're like, and then you can relax because you're like, there's no more coming.
Right.
You're like, okay.
But
then the guy starts moving back because you've already stretched it out enough, and you starts moving back and forth, and you do it slowly, and then you're like, oh fuck, Yes.
And
And,
that's
then you're just like,
So-
grabbing their ass and just pulling them harder. And
But I
it's just
definitely want
amazing.
everybody to know 100% consensual. Like it wasn't
Important to clarify.
It wasn't no, I don't want to do this. It was
If it was-
ooh, I don't think I can do this.
Okay,
And then she kind of was like,
and then she's
ooh,
like,
I think
I
do
can,
this.
and I
And then
will.
she's like,
she was like,
Don't
so it
stop.
was-
And then she's like, now I'm going to stalk you
Right.
because I loved anal.
right. And you know,
We're gonna do what is it called when they do the warning, the public service announcement. We're gonna do a public PSA. We're gonna do a PSA.
no,
If you do anal for the first time, you might become a stalker.
My PSA is just like the tip is the worst part, and after you're past that, it's all okay.
That's true. That's true. But still, there's still like,
Watch out
for
the
me,
stalkers, though.
even like if I haven't done it in a while, there's still like 2 or 3 pause moments, unless I'm just like smammered and there's a lot of lube, and you've played with me, and you're still playing with me, and like there's all these things like, guys, play with the woman's clitoris while you're trying to ease it in, because that will make her relax
really
more.
just while you're doing anything, like as a general rule.
That's
it's
true,
a
because
good place to start.
for me, I'm more of an outside orgasmer. Like the clit for me is where I come from.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think most women.
and then
would probably
there's
agree with
people
that.
there's a lot of women that are like inside where the little walnut is, and they're like inside
both.
people.
Always
I mean
both.
you come from both, but like for me, like when I masturbate, I don't use dildos. Like I just do the vibrator. That's why the Hitachi has ruined me for the rest of my life, because I just need that vibration right there, and I'm like, and that's it. Side boob. Let's go ahead and hear about this very
My turn.
awesome, uncomfortable. This is not gonna wait. It's gonna be, ladies. There are assholes out there, and we can't prevent them from everything.
There are assholes out there, and yours is your own, and someone should not be sneaking in.
We don't want to.
That's all I'll say.
This episode is called "Sneaking in the Back Door," but we don't consent to that.
No, my first anal experience was like 100% not consensual. I was having sex with somebody. He was somebody at the time that I was having like regular sex with, and we like had a lot of communication about the situation, and we were both like totally cool with it. Like it was like totally awesome. But then one time we're like having sex, and yeah, 1 second we were just like having some pretty vanilla missionary sex, and the next thing I know, there's a big old dick in my ass. And I was like
all the way,
the fucking phone. Yeah, he
like
just,
all the way in, or just like a little bit.
Full force. Full force.
No
Just
lube.
went
Did you
straight
had
in.
you like come at all at that
Nope.
point? There's no
Nope.
lube.
Nope.
Oh,
We were like maybe like 5 minutes into this sexual experience, and like no lube, no warning, absolutely no warning. And then he was like, "Oh, it slipped," but then he did it again, and I was like, "Liar! I knew it. You're doing this on purpose." And then like me and this other lady that we were.
You're like, bye.
We
I'm
were
going
both
to
like,
have
"Fuck
lesbian
you,
sex."
you're out. Like, no more boys in this room. Like, goodbye."
Yeah. That's just a dick move. So
Yeah.
that segues into our next topic with the surprise anal. Because it's happened before where I've had guys where they're like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it," and you know when
You're
they
like,
didn't mean
do
to
you
do
think
it.
they ever don't? mean
No,
to
there are
do it?
times
that's
where like
happened to me
I love
Or do you think
like
they're testing the waters?
no for
I
me.
have also had like actual surprise, like
Yeah.
surprise for everyone.
I love like
anal.
hardcore fucking. Like I don't like to make love. I don't do the slow thing. I don't like to caress each other and like
No
look into
cuddling
each other
over
in
here.
eyes and like maybe some cuddling afterwards and like, but not before and during. Like fuck that. I want you to fuck my brains out. So then like if we're going at it and it slips, because there's always been the slip out and then they poke you and then they stab your vagina and it hurts them and it hurts you and you're just like, are you okay? And he's like, are you okay?
Also,
God.
But
can
then
cause penis issues.
Yeah.
You can also
cramp and break. Yeah.
Honestly, that's God's revenge for you just poking it in unannounced.
Well, no, that's just like from fucking hardcore. Sometimes that happened to me. Too many times.
You got your penis all crooked?
No, but like we would be going hard, and then they would just like they would stab their penis would crunch up, and I'd be like, "Are you okay?" And then we just go back at it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then we just go back at it,
Sometimes
and then he would just stab. Yeah, sometimes you
You're
can.
like, oh my god.
Yeah.
you can break your penis.
But then
too.
there's sometimes where they like stab me, and I'm like, "Oh,
excuse you."
okay." They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, just give me a second. Just give me a second." But then it happens where they don't go up when they slip out, and they go down, and I'm like, "Whoa!" But then there's times where I'm like, all right, asshole, I know that you meant, I was like, wrong hole. We're going slow. There's no reason that you should accidentally poke in my butt.
And that's
which I don't mind it, but you need to fucking consent first. Ask first, because it's a very touchy subject.
Use a fucking lube. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
And I'm a squirter and all, but I still want lube all on my tube.
I'm just like, that can't be great for you either.
You can do it like a hint. Like, what if I get around this area? And you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell.
There's times where they're like, they'll like rub it and they're like, oh.
There's not a whole lot.
And they'll push in a little bit, and it's just like the pressure, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
But
I like a general, like, is this okay?
Yeah.
And you can usually tell anyways, but still good to ask, because, like,
Same. You just don't, like, thrust it in full throttle, especially. And even, like, an experienced anal person like me, like, sometimes it's been a while, and like, yes, I love it, but I don't necessarily want you to put it full throttle in, like the thruster here. You know, it just, it's just.
So you're saying
I feel like he was the fister.
No, he's the fister.
He's a little bit like yay for anal, and he's a little bit like I'm about to fist you.
I'm going to
That's
fist
fun.
you.
And also, he's got like his other job.
He's definitely ready.
This is the best dollar I've ever spent in my entire life.
I was
best
thrilled.
dollar ever.
I was thrilled that you were fine with
so
that.
flexible.
Why would I not be okay with this guy?
I don't even know.
We want your comments. We want your comments down below our video.
This is just a human. I don't know if we even need to assign it a gender. Look,
it could be an android.
is that a nipple?
It's actually it's a
Not that everyone doesn't have nipples, but
it's a she-male.
All I'm gonna say is, looking at him from the front, he's less than average.
Who even says it's a man? It could be a girl with very broad shoulders.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Like,
yeah. So it's whatever you
curvy.
want it to be. We want your comments.
It looks like China, like the wrestler.
So I also have a question because we've all done anal here.
Well, no, we haven't all done anal here.
Oh.
But all of us here have done anal.
Very true.
Okay.
So we're gonna go.
Like, oh, this tablecloth.
We're gonna go to where everybody who's scared of anal doesn't. That's what they're scared of. The pooping.
I don't know that I'll ever not be afraid of that.
So has it ever happened to you guys?
Think about it. I have never shat on someone, if that's what you're asking.
Have you been shat on?
But I have felt like it's about to happen. But I think
I feel like somebody just got jinxed here. Oh no, I feel like somebody's gonna have a story here.
I have a story.
Oh,
it's not my proudest moment. Although I had a very fucking cool dude. So it happens, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. I was on vacation years ago, and I've obviously been drinking. We've been partying, and then we had very rich, delicious food.
No Mexican, please.
No, it wasn't Mexican, but
no beans.
So I met this guy, and I go back to his house. Like, we eat this delicious food. We go and have lunch together. And cool fucking dude. And we go to his house, and I'm supposed to just take a nap because I was so fucking tired. I was like, I need to take a nap before I go out and party again. His napping was not my napping. And so, like, I just met this guy, so I didn't, like, I really had to go to the bathroom. So, like, I pooped a little bit out because I didn't want to, like, have exploding diarrhea sounds come out of his quiet apartment. Because like it was so quiet, and he was right by the bathroom door, so I didn't want it to be loud. So I just like let a little bit out, and I was like, okay, now I can go take a nap now, like I'm supposed to do, that he promised me I could do. Well, then it obviously turned into sex, and I'm a squirter, and when you come, like, you push out. So, like, I was holding in my cum the whole time. Like, I told him I was a squirter, so we put a towel down, all that jazz, thank God for that. And then, like, I'm telling you guys because I'm a very open person and whatever. I don't get embarrassed much, but this is pretty embarrassing. I was riding him, and like when I ride a dude, I know the angles and I know where to go and like all the things. And like I came, and then all of a sudden I just felt
special release.
Something not out of my vagina, and I was like, I just paused and I looked at him and I had to stop, and I was like, I think I pooped on you. and I got up, and thank God for the towel, because he was like, how bad is it? And I was like, don't look. And I just started wiping, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the restroom and I'm gonna take a shower now.
We're thinking one girl, one cup.
But you were like, group shower.
Oh, it was. And then we took a group shower and we washed off, and
Atta girl.
we just made a shit ton of jokes. Shit ton of jokes. But it was it was funny because it wasn't even anal sex.
That's what I was waiting to see if we were gonna get there.
It wasn't even anal sex that happened. Yeah. I
just felt like you needed to make a movement.
I just couldn't help it.
Well,
it was bad. And he was like, how about this? And I just tried to wipe as much as I could before he looked. And I was like, I'm just going to go curl my tail under my leg, in between my legs, and go finish this mission of mine. And then we'll take a shower together. And then we went back, and he gave me a 10 out of 10 in sex. So I was like, well, fuck yeah. I was like,
maybe he liked it.
No, he did not. But he also said, well, to be honest, this isn't the first time it's happened. I was like, whew.
Maybe he's got a technique.
That good, huh?
I don't know, but he was like, but this is the first time. No, but he said, he did say this is the first time it's happened without doing butt sex. He's like, you can't come to my house, shit all over my bedspread, and us not do butt sex. And I was like, do you really want to do that right now? It's like,
I put a towel down.
I was like, no. I was like, let's wait for another day. I was like, we should probably wait another day. I was like, I don't know what's in there. Who knows? I was like, why? But why risk it? You know?
Have you ever shit after anal though? Because I personally cannot shit for like a full 24 hours.
Well, I don't actually shit, but I do. Well, with my husband, like, you know, when we're not trying to have babies, I'm like, come in my ass, and so that keeps us from having babies. And so I'm like, okay, I don't poop, but like I poop the cum out, and that's about it.
I don't think that really counts.
Yeah, no, it's not poop. Yeah, it's not poop.
Well,
but
that's just gravity.
Unless
right?
You're eating it, and now you're pooping it out. It doesn't.
No,
count.
but
gravity.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
I don't.
count.
After, like, besides that time, after anal sex, you feel like you have to poop, and you go in there, and like if you let the dude like come in you, if you're in a long relationship, I wouldn't recommend strangers coming in your ass without a condom. But you do feel like you have to poop afterwards, but nothing comes out. It takes a while. Yeah, it does. And it does take actually a while. Yeah, you're right.
I think one perspective we're going to miss here, because I have no input, but pegging, I think, as far as anal is, I've got no input here for that.
So my friend who's a cam girl, she dated a sissy boy, which a sissy boy.
Wait.
Red light.
What exactly?
I think we should tell everybody what pegging is too.
Okay, so I'll tell you what sissy boy is first. Sissy boy is a guy that loves to be dress up like a woman, likes to get his nails done, likes to be pretty like a woman, not a drag queen, likes to actually like do chores, clean the house, cook cookies, dress in maid's outfits, be a very pretty woman, like just loves to be a pretty woman.
So
that's
he
a
likes
sissy
to be
boy.
a housewife.
Yeah, like he wants to be like a 50s housewife, very pretty, just likes to dress in girls' clothes all the time, not drag queen, not performer. So she also dated a sissy boy that likes pegging. And pegging is basically where a guy likes someone to for a woman to put a strap-on on, and he likes anal sex. It's not pegging. Isn't that like with a man? It would just be gay sex. So they like a woman.
Oh,
to
not
wear...
necessarily though. I don't think. I think that.
You don't think so?
No, not anymore. No, I don't have any personal experience
All right,
into it.
come on, side boob research.
But I think that
Also,
it's a new thing for the, I would say, younger generation of straight men that are not afraid to experiment around.
I think so too, and that's when
No, but I'm saying, but the sissy boys are mostly
sure.
like.
But
I mean, they could be gay or
men.
straight.
I was talking about pegging in general.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to be gay. That doesn't. Like,
I don't think that. I think it is straight men that like pegging.
Right.
I think that if it would just be a gay sex.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Pegging is for straight men that like women
interested in a man fucking you. That is just
gay sex. Yeah. So it's a straight man that likes a woman to peg them with a strap on. So
I believe the red light will go off if it stops recording.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up this second round of anal. I think we've got a lot of good educational things and some good stories, and you guys got to know us a little bit better. I know there's some like random off topics, but hopefully you will subscribe. Please comment on our videos. We would love to have your feedback, so then we can continue to educate you and you can educate us. We're at this point in our podcast, it's a learning curve, and we just want to grow stronger, and we want to educate the world, and we still want to be funny, and we want as much as you guys' interaction as we possibly can. And the Fiesta wants to give you guys a fucking high five and a goodbye.
I don't think he can.
I don't think he wants a high five so much as
I meant like a high five, like, but a
else.
fist five.
Fist five?
A fist five. I think we all should just end this episode
bump.
with a fist five. Let's give it a fister.
Fister.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
Sure.
And that is the end of round 2 for our anal episode of Let's Talk Boobs. Thank you for listening, and please like us on Facebook,
Thanks, guys.
Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.